Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be going through my November TBR. I wanted to make sure to get this out in lots of time because I am participating in a readathon in November and I'm really excited about it, and I wanted to give everybody a chance to learn about it in case you wanted to come over and also participate. This readathon is organized by Hannah, and I will link her channel down below so that you can check her out and also check out the readathon. And basically what I like about readathons is that they are a way to get to know new people in the book community. Actually, how I decided to start my channel was by participating in a shelf space readathon in December of 2020 because I started the channel in 2021. So in December 2020, I joined a readathon and got to chatting with some of the other people who were there. None of whom really had their own channels, actually, the people that I chatted with the most. But we had been inspired by watching everybody else's videos and getting to know people in the community to start up a channel. And it's just a lot of fun. It can be a lot of pressure, but I think only if you make it a lot of pressure. I really like what Hannah has done with this readathon because there is a lot of flexibility in the prompts. They are not overly specific. There are lots of options at each different step. And so you can really build it to fit your TBR. For example, I had very specific goals for my November TBR, and that is to finish off a lot of the dangling series that I have before the end of the year. There are certain books like Hero of Ages that I have been wanting to read for a really long time and just have not been able to fit them in. But there are lots of places that I can fit those books within this readathon because the prompts allow for a lot of flexibility. I am going to, like I said, link all of the details below, but I will give a very quick overview of how the readathon is going to be organized just as it pertains to my TBR. So basically this readathon has 5 steps and it's all kind of fashioned around a quest. This is a readathon that is modeled after fairy tale retellings. You don't necessarily have to read fairy tale retellings to take part in it, but if you want to be thematically appropriate, then maybe you can put a couple of those in there. But there are 5 different overall steps to the readathon, and they are called researching the apple tree, finding the map to the apple tree, gathering companions, a quest for the apple tree, and climbing the apple tree. So it's like your own little mini quest. And within each of those 5 steps, there are 3 prompts, and then for one of the prompts, there is a hard mode that will get you extra points. So you can either pick one book to fit all of those prompts and then get all 350 of those points with your one book, or you can pick separate books for separate prompts and then get your points that way. So I, like I said, had very specific books in mind that I already wanted to read this month. So all of mine don't get me full points, but I'm hoping that I will be motivated to read and kind of boosted by my team and that it will be a really good reading month. And so even if I don't get all of the points with one book, I'll have lots of reading time to go back and put some in. So to get to the actual books part of this, I will outline the 5 that fit the prompts for me and then just talk about another few books that I just have on the TBR that I'm hoping to get to. So the very first one is our channel buddy read for November, and that is The Justice of Kings. This is one that won our group poll when we were talking about it in the Discord, and one that I have been looking forward to reading all year. It was a new release for this year, and it comes very highly recommended by Alan from the Library of Alexandria. I believe the brothers Gwyn, or at least one of them, has read The Justice of Kings. Maybe Philip as well. I'm not sure. It's like kind of muddled in my mind now because it did come out near like the beginning of the year. But I know that Alan has read it and loved it and talked to me about it. So he is really the reason that I am finally getting around to reading that one. So that is going to be my book for the first kind of section of the readathon, and the prompt that it fits is a book that involves royalty. So obviously this one involves a king's justice, although I believe technically he is an emperor's justice in this book. And I think there is kind of a melding of fantasy and mystery, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. I've heard the pacing is good and that overall this is just a really enjoyable book. So I am hoping that it resonates with me. The second book that I am reading is another buddy read, this one with a smaller group. So it's going to be myself and Colton, and I think Mindalyn is reading it with us. I think there may be someone else, maybe Peter is reading it as well. So there's a bunch of people from the Discord who are going to jump in, and that is The Lion of Macedon by David Gemmell. So this is the first book in his Greek duology, and I am really excited to read it. I just finished the Troy trilogy last month. Review for that entire series is pending. I really liked it and I want more people to read it, so I am going to do a dedicated review for it. But David Gemmell writing historical fiction with a sprinkling of fantasy, though I believe this Greek duology is more fantasy forward than the Troy trilogy had been. I am all for it. I am hoping that it is going to be another hit for me, that I'm going to love it as much, or at least almost as much, as the Troy trilogy. So fingers crossed for that one, and I am super, super excited to get to it. The prompt that one fits is a book that I recently acquired, and it's going to be very recent because I have not yet acquired it. I had said that I wasn't going to buy any more books this year, but this buddy read was already scheduled, and I think I'm just going to buy the Kindle version. So it won't be, too big an expenditure before the end of the year. Book 3 is finally going to be Ship of Destiny by Robin Hobb. So this is the final book in the Live Ship Traders trilogy. I want to finish it up by the end of the year so that I can start the next sub-series in hopefully January or February and make my way through the Realm of the Elderlings. But I have really, really enjoyed this series. It's just that I've been reading a lot this year. I've had a lot of different things that I want to read, both by myself and with other people. So, that's just the way that it goes sometimes. But I am dedicated to finishing this before the end of the year, and I really want to know what happens at the end of this book. The prompt that this one fits, so this is one that's going to do double for me because it definitely fits a book that has strong family themes, but I also believe that there will be romance in this. This I won't be able to verify, obviously, until the end of the book, but based on things that were set up in the other 2 books of the series, I believe that there is going to be a progression of some romantic subplots as we make our way through. The 4th book that I have as a buddy read that I have officially put into my prompts is Heaven Official's Blessing Volume 2. So this is a readathon that I again started on the Discord with a bunch of friends in October, and we are going to be making our way just one book at a time, one book per month. And I have really enjoyed this author's other works. This is a Chinese cultivation fantasy novel with heavy romance themes, and this is the longest series by the author and my last series of hers. So once this one is done, I won't have any more of her books to read. Excuse me. But, I'm still excited to read it. There's that hint of sadness because it is the last one, but I am looking forward to it. I don't know what happens in this series, so that's going to be exciting. And the prompts that this one fits would be a book with magic and a book with a historical setting. So that is that, book number 4. And then for my 5th part of the readathon, I am reading Vita Nostra. So this is I believe this falls within the realm of dark academia. To be really honest, this was one that was picked again on the Discord for a buddy read. And it is one that a lot of different people were really excited to read, and I wanted to read it because I like reading books with my friends, but also I wanted to compare it to Babel, which is a book that I read in October, and I think they have similar approaches but are very different books. But I'm looking forward to it. I always like reading books that everyone else is really excited to get to, but I believe, like I said, this is dark academia. I know that it is a translated work, and I think that is going to be really interesting as well. I don't really know what else to expect beyond that. I think maybe it can be a little bit confusing. I feel like I remember other people talking about it and being not entirely sure of everything that happened. So I'm expecting it to be a little weird, maybe literary, dark, school involved. I bet I've really sold this to you with how well I know it, but everybody else is reading it. I wanted to jump in and read it too, so I'm going to read it in November. And the prompt that one fits is just a poll pick, because this came from a series of polls that we carried out on Discord where people were picking books that they wanted to read and select for channel buddy reads. The other books are ones that I have not yet fit into specific prompts, but ones that I I do think will fit, like various prompts on the readathon, and ones that I have very much been looking forward to reading. So one of them is called The Excalibur Curse. So this is the final novel in an Arthurian trilogy. This is by Kirsten White, who is a YA author. She wrote the And I Darken series, which is a series that I really enjoyed. So I picked up her Arthurian series, and I like it, but this book has been out for nearly a year and I haven't read it yet. So it wasn't everything that I had been hoping for. I was hoping for a new Arthurian series that I was going to love, but I have not fallen totally in love with it, but I do enjoy it and I want to finish it. So I've had that third book for nearly a year now, and I would like to get through it. So I'm hoping that I will be able to read that one. Then I also would like to read The Bone Garden, which is a middle grade book that was gifted to me by Andrew from Andrew's Wizardly Reads last year, that I had been hoping to read around this time of year. And I was thinking of picking it up this month, but it does fit a couple of the prompts for the readathon. And I thought, it is supposed to be a little bit creepy and atmospheric, but I think it'll still fit in well for November. So I'm hoping that I will potentially be able to get to that one as well. And then I would like to read Red Country by Joe Abercrombie. So this is another series that I have kind of put on pause, not because I didn't love it. I did. I really enjoyed the other two standalones. I liked Best Served Cold. I loved The Heroes. And I really would like to be able to start the Age of Madness trilogy next year. So let's hope that this month will be one in which I can read Red Country. I will probably get to the next Elric book, depending on when we organize our live streams, because myself, Evie, Joanna, we're all doing, Andrew, we're all doing a discussion, an ongoing group discussion about the Elric saga, and we're reading them in chronological order, the order that they're in the new illustrated versions of Elric that are coming out. So depending on where that falls, I may end up reading the third Elric book in November as well, and then The Hero of Ages. I'm not 100% committing to The Hero of Ages because I don't want to be yes, I'm reading this, and then not fit it in and feel really bad again. I am reading this before the year is over. That is final. I am reading it. If it is not in November, I will be reading it in December. I will not finish 2022 without having finished the Mistborn trilogy. It is going to happen. If I can fit it in November, then I will. If I cannot fit it in November, then so be it. I will read it in December. But at least that gives me some flexibility. It gives me some options to kind of go back and forth with the different prompts and decide what I'm going to read. But that is it. That is my TBR for November. Those are the books that I'm really looking forward to reading. If you are interested in joining the readathon, then I will leave the link below. You can go and read up on it. Hannah has created some amazing graphics. She really went all in for the organization of this. There's little graphics that you can use when you complete a book. You can share them to Instagram. It seems like it's really going to be a lot of fun. And definitely come check that out if you are interested. If not, just let me know what books you're looking forward to reading in November. Are you feeling the pressure to finish series now that the end of the year is getting so close, as I am? I would love to know, and I will see you with another video soon. Bye!